This week's spread bet stock of the week is a company that has climbed by 50% since December 2021, whilst the S&P 500 has dropped 20% in the same period. This stock is an excellent example of why investing in stocks will produce you far better returns over the long run compared to investing in the S&P 500 itself, as there are almost always stocks that are outperforming the indices even during heavy corrections, as we have seen in 2022 so far. In this video, I'm going to look at when we got into this stock, when we added it into our spread betting portfolio. And remember, guys, for tax-free returns here in the UK, that's right, tax-free here in the UK. And also we'll look at the continual upside potential. So if this recording helps you to up your investor game, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification. My name is Zahir Anwari. I'm the co-founder of SublimeTrading.io. We have helped hundreds of private investors over the past 10 plus years learn to profit from trends in the markets through our simple to learn methodology. I also write for a number of publications, including Benzinga.com, and I'm regularly invited to guest speak on how everyday people can supercharge skyrocket their stock's performance, focusing on the next 3 to 5 years. So, the stock name for this week's spread bet stock of the week is McKesson Corporation, ticker symbol MCK. The stock is in the healthcare sector and the daily volume is regularly around the 1 million mark. So there is healthy interest in this stock and why it is performing so well. Their mission statement, guiding us in our mission of improving healthcare in every setting, one product, one partner, one patient at a time. And the numbers certainly reflect that they are kind of delivering on their mission statement. So let's look at the history. The company has gone through a few name changes over the years. It was first founded in New York City as Charles M. Olcott in 1828 and later as Olcott, McKesson & Co. by Charles Olcott and John McKesson in 1833. The business began as an importer and wholesaler of botanical drugs. Quite a change compared to today. McKesson Corporation is now based in Texas and distributes pharmaceuticals and providing healthcare information technology, medical supplies, and care management tools. The company delivers a third of all pharmaceuticals used in North America and employs around 80,000 people. It's an immense company. McKesson also has revenues of around 240 billion in its fiscal year in 2021. The company is certainly healthy and the stock performance in the last year certainly reflects that, and it is currently rewarding investors with a very healthy profit despite current market conditions. As already mentioned, the S&P 500 has dropped 20-25% in 2022. So let's switch over to the charts and break down exactly how this stock has been performing. Okay, so this is a typical 3-screen setup of mine when I'm conducting my analysis. This is the same setup that I use to conduct my analysis for UK stocks, US stocks, commodities, currencies, and also the cryptocurrency markets. So the setup is the monthly time frame in the top left, the weekly time frame in the top right, and the daily time frame down here across the bottom. I like to use the higher time frame as it allows me to do less work to make more profit because I'm simply holding once I get into an asset, but also it gives me a very clear history, a very clear picture of the performance of the asset. So if it's performed well in the past, then we have a very clear indicator that it's likely to perform well in the future. We don't day trade here at Sublime Trading because ultimately it's just a lot of work for very little profit. Trend following is what we specialize in, and to trend follow, you need the higher time frames. So let's start with the monthly time frame. So first and foremost, you can see how clearly the stock has performed, certainly in recent months, as already mentioned, with the S&P 500 declining by 20-25%. This stock has just gone from strength to strength. Now, if we just look at the history of the stock, just go back in time, we can see that it performed very, very well initially. Then, like most stocks, if I just compress the chart, it went through a correction, then this lengthy period of sideways market. Now, of course, within a sideways market, you can also have trends, but we really want to see when a stock breaks out, it starts printing new all-time highs. That's when we can really tell its strength in performance. And you can see from this point here, May 2013 up until May 2015, that's a 2-year trend. Now, after every move, the market consolidates. So from that high of May 2015 to December of last year, price was stuck in this long-term area of consolidation. There's an expression, guys, which is the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. And that's what we want to see here. Price eventually broke out from this consolidation in December 21 and has gone on to perform very, very well. If I just take my marker from the low of December 2021, which is this marker here, this bar here, and if I just move it to where current price action is, you can see that price has moved around 50%. So it's performed very, very well since December 2021. We can go even further back. It was at this point here, January 2019, where price found support and has steadily worked its way up. But certainly December, even November, October of last year, that's really when the bullish momentum came in and started pushing price back up. We got into this stock when it started printing new all-time highs, and we have been holding our position since. Despite the S&P 500 going through its correction, we're still long on McKesson Corporation. Now, what is the potential upside for this stock? Well, the simplest way to look at stocks and how they're performing is look at round numbers. So that McKesson Corporation is trading above $300. Where's it likely to move towards? $400, $500, and so on. So we like to keep it simple and look at price in terms of round numbers once it's creating new highs. You can see that if price is trading below its current all-time high, so if we just go back in time and if we look at price action here, it had this resistance level, it had this resistance level, so there was a lot of work for price to do. In between this level and this level, you had the $200 round number, so there was a lot of work for price to do before breaking out and creating new highs. And in hindsight, it looks interesting. You think to yourself, right, let me just get in at this point and see what happens. But all assets look very easy and very interesting in hindsight. It's about the performance going forward that counts. And so whenever you enter into a stock, you always want to make sure that you're entering into high probability environments where you have more chance of making profit than a loss. And one of the easiest ways to do that is waiting for assets to create new highs. Now, while this asset was setting up, we're not just looking at this all day, every day. That's where the scanners come in. I've talked about this in a previous recording where I cover my routine. I believe that's a recording before this, so if you haven't watched that, do check that out. But ultimately, while this asset was setting up over those many years, we had a plethora of other stocks that were already printing new highs. So it's not a case of just focusing on this one stock. You've got to look across the board and always filter down to those stocks that are performing the best. And this is one of those stocks that has been performing for us in recent months. Now, if we go across to the weekly time frame, we can see that price action is above the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving averages. Stocks that are performing above their averages are very likely to go on and trend very well. And the 50 and the 200 simple moving averages are industry standard moving averages that give us a very clear indication of whether price is going to move further to the upside, whether it's going to go down, whether it's going to correct to the downside, or whether it's going to go sideways. This stock has been trading above the 200 and the 50 simple moving averages consistently since November 2020. So a very, very good performing stock. Also notice our trend filter is predominantly green. There have been bits of grey when it's pulled back, confirming a sort of sideways market, certainly in this period here. But generally, the trend filter has been green overall. In recent weeks, the market has been going sideways. And again, that's expected because after every move, the market consolidates. And notice where it found support, guys, the $300 round number. Let me just get that marker so you can see for yourself. But just mark the low of that consolidation. You can see that that marker there is in line with the $300 mark on the right-hand side. So price went through the $300 mark, came back to retest it, and has now bounced off it. The trend filter closed green. So we're now looking for a breakout and a continuation. And because price has gone through a consolidation, the next breakout is likely to push price towards that $400 and $500 mark. Remember, bases, these consolidation areas, act as roots for a trend to develop. So the longer that consolidation, the stronger the root, the longer the trend that materializes is likely to be. And we can see that in more detail on the daily time frame. So if I just go back to this area here, the high was in April 2022. Guys, look how well the trend has performed since it broke out from this consolidation. So there was a bit of a consolidation here. And the reason why it's a consolidation, number of reasons. Our trend filter is alternating between green, grey and red, confirming a sideways market. Secondly, look how flat the 20 and the 50 simple moving averages are. So the blue line is the 20 simple moving average. The orange line is the 50 simple moving average. When a market is going sideways, the 20 and the 50 tend to crisscross above and below each other. And that's exactly what was happening in this period here. But that doesn't happen forever. At some point, the market's likely to break out. And with stocks, the breakout is always more likely to the upside in good market conditions. And that is certainly what happened in November of last year, when the bull market was still very much in play. And look how well it has trended since then, bouncing between the 20 and the 50 as a support level, and then continue on its climb. That's what we look for in a good, clean, neat, linear trend. A good performing stock. Move, pull back, move, pull back, move. And then this pullback. Now notice this pullback is where this consolidation came in. And that started in April 2022 and has just continued. Even during this decline, as already mentioned with the S&P 500, even during that decline, if I just switch over to the daily time frame, you can see this is the daily time frame, of the S&P 500. If we take it from January of this year, this stock has fallen to around 20% to where current price action is. In that same period, McKesson Corporation has remained inside consolidation, and in fact, it has been recovering since the middle of June. So the last 2 weeks of June were actually very good for this stock. Nice move to the upside. What we're looking for now is a breakout. So once price continues to the upside and we get a break and close above the high of May, this stock is likely to continue performing well, push towards that $400, $500 mark, and so on. Particularly if the S&P 500 starts recovering and the market as a whole starts looking bullish, this stock will go on to perform very, very well. And these are the kind of stocks you want in your portfolio. And ideally, guys, you really want to be getting into these stocks right at the breakout. Once price starts breaking out, printing new all-time highs and confirms strength, that's when you want to be getting in, because what you're doing is you're getting in right at the base of a consolidation, and you can then catch that big move that happens. And this is what I mentioned about doing less for more earlier by looking at these higher time frames. All you have to do is time your entry well, understand high probability environments, time your entry well, manage your risk well, manage your exit well, and then simply hold your positions. And that means just getting on with your life, doing whatever you're doing, whether you're employed, run a business, family, kids, school run, etc., etc. Your portfolio is working for you in the background because you've just simply entered at the right time and have allowed your positions to run. So that is our spread bet stock of the week, McKesson Corporation, ticker symbol MCK. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Where do you go from here? Go down into the description below, click on the link. The link will open up into this scorecard. Are you ready to skyrocket your stock performance? Take the scorecard by clicking on this link. It will take you less than 2 minutes to complete, guys. At the end of the scorecard, you'll get an excellent report detailing your performance. But also, you will get 30 days free access to our Hot Stocks Vault, where we share with you the 10 best performing stocks every single week. So you'll get early access to these stocks. And as already mentioned, you want to be getting into these stocks at a base right when these stocks start breaking out and establishing high probability environments. We will share these stocks with you. We do all the scanning. So all you need to do is get involved and have these stocks in your portfolio. See you in the next recording.